So today on Brian's Budget Garage, we're going to show you how to remove a starter from a 2006 Crown Victoria. It's not too hard, but you do need to have some special tools and be able to feel for heads of screws. It's not as straightforward as some because you can't see. One of the heads you can't even see. So we'll show you how to do that. The first thing you do though is you need to remove the negative terminal on the battery. You want to make sure your battery is disconnected because the power goes directly down to the starter. If you don't do that, it's going to arc, all kinds of problems. So that's the first thing you do. Then you get underneath the car on the passenger side. Right under here is where your starter is going to be. Right underneath, right behind the tire, right here. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, this is the starter. What you're going to have is your wires that plug into it, which are right here, and so you got to remove both of these nuts. Then there is 3 bolts, 10mm head bolts right here. There's one right around there, and then there's one further around there. So there's the really hard one is way in the back. So you got this bolt, and then way back here, which you can't see, this bolt. So these 2 bolts you have to actually do with by feel, and you have to have an extension. It's the right length to go to the back of the starter motor, so you can easily take them out. So you're going to have a ratchet and the exact length extension to get to these bolts. And the hardest one, of course, is for this back. The first one you take out is the hardest. So the very first one you take out is way back here. Then you take out this one, and then you take this one out last, because that's the one that's easiest to get to. You leave that one in for last. When you first get to your starter, you're going to have a red cap here. It just pops off. You pull on it, and it just has some little things that grab the wires. So first thing I got to do is pull off the wires. It's going to take, I believe, a 12 if I'm not mistaken. 13mm. So you loosen the main nut. You want to put your finger on the other side. You don't want it to twist. It can break the plastic that it's mounted into. So try not to put too much torque on the plastic part, and push against that. There you go. That was really tight. Tighter than I remembered putting it. Pull the nut off for that one. Okay. It's so small I can't get the other on there. There you go. Loosen this. There you go. That's the wire that goes to the ignition for the starter. The other one's the main power. Goes to the battery. Remember, you have to disconnect the battery first. Remind you of that, otherwise you're going to be arcing all over the place down here. You need to have the battery unhooked first. I'll add that into the video. Once you get that out, the wire should come free. Now your wire is free. Okay, now the only thing left is the mechanical connection to the car. Alright, what I've decided to use instead of sockets, I've got a wrench, 10mm wrench, that has a ratchet mechanism to it. So I've just gotten this bolt loose that sits right here. Okay, it's not the hardest one, it's the second hardest one. Get that out. Now I've got the wrench on the final bolt, and I'm going to try to ratchet it out, or wrench it out. This light sure does get in the way. There's no room in here for lights at all. Maybe I'll put it back down here. I know it's going to blind the camera, but there's not a lot I can do about that because otherwise it's in the way of my hand. So I'm going to get the last bolt out, which is under here. I know it's covered up, but there's not a lot I can do about it. It should be loose. Let's see if I can get it out with by hand. So this is the type of wrench it is. It has a ratchet mechanism in it, and I'm able to actually get onto the little bolts here. The problem is the other bolt is so tight in there. I have to get a small extension to get it out. So now I have a short extension with a U-joint. Put that on there, and I'm going to try to spin it out. It's finger tight, but there's just no way to get your fingers on the head. It's actually a terrible place for a bolt. I don't know why they put it up there. It's very difficult to get this off. There you go. There's that bolt I wanted out right there. Alright, the last one. I'm going to move this light again. So you can see what I'm doing. The last one I can actually get at much easier. So I'm just going to use my ratchet, air ratchet, with that same socket with a U-joint, so I can easily get the ratchet in there. Make sure it's turning the right way. That's good. Okay. Come on, get in there. It really wants to give me trouble, doesn't it? Alright. Now, as you pull it loose, it's going to try to jump off, so okay, so this is the starter as it comes out. It's sitting like that. The three bolts are here, here, and back here. So all of those three. So when you're putting it back in, it's going to be the exact opposite. You're going to put it back in, slide it in, put the front in first, put it in, wiggle it until it goes in. What you're going to do is put this bolt in first. Don't tighten it real tight, but up. You want it tight enough to where it's close. Then when you need to put in the other bolts, like this one, you'll wiggle it around until it starts the threads on this one and this one. Screw those in, and then finally screw this in, and then you put the wires back on. It's not too hard. It's just you got to be good at filling the heads of screws way back here. Thanks for watching Brian's Budget Garage. Hopefully this helps people who need to replace their starter. You can save money by doing it yourself rather than paying other people. The starter itself is pretty expensive, so if you can save yourself time on labor, that's actually pretty good. So thanks for watching.